go get it yourself.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Montrez gave himself a little assist.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah,
Missed a shot.
Assist. All right, 31-19 fourth quarter. The difference is the Lakers win their third straight. Frank Vogel speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Frank, just given the challenges of this season, tonight you don't have KCP or Caruso. How important is it to have a bench that can come in and change the game energy-wise, which seemed to happen in this one?
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about our team is our depth and our ability to handle, a couple guys being out in particular at the same position, defensive same position anyway, our chasers. But those guys played well. Wes, Talen, Trez, and Keith, really gave us a lift off the bench and, big part of the victory.
Just specifically with Montrez, Frank, what did you see from him tonight?
Energy. He just you have to honor everything he does on the offensive end, whether he's ducking in or rolling to the basket. He's really picked up his offensive rebounding, from early in the season, and obviously gives great defensive, determination and fight as well with his communication. And I thought he did a great job, not only rebounding the ball defensively, but boxing out. You know what I mean? And this is a selfless thing to give yourself up, to get your body into a bigger guy like Valanciunas, and let some of the guards, or you saw Braun with 13 defensive rebounds, just let some of the guards come back and rebound while he's doing the dirty work underneath and wiping the crashers off the glass. It doesn't show up in the box score, but really did a great job with that.
And Frank, not the first time that we've seen LeBron take over in a fourth quarter. I just wonder your perspective on the sideline when you're seeing him do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him a blow so he doesn't play the whole fourth quarter, and he keeps making big plays. It's tough to take him out. So we were able to find a spot, to get him a rest, so we don't overdo it in the fourth. But he was terrific. You know what I mean? He knew what he wanted to go to in terms of the action that he wanted to exploit in their defense, and we kept putting him in that action, and he delivered, big shots, big plays with the pass, and obviously, brought us home offensively during that, that fourth quarter.
Dave? Frank, last game we were asking you about Anthony being a 6'11" guy who's shooting threes off the bounce. Today, I think it's a 6-point game. He has a high screen for LeBron. LeBron sits with a pocket pass, and he's shooting a floater. Can you just speak about the variety of his skill set, and in particular, a floater from a 6'11" guy?
Yeah, he can shoot. He can do it all. Anthony's shot making is what makes him a top 5 player in this league. And whether it's in the low post with all his footwork moves, his ability to jab and shoot over guys, his hooks around the basket, his ability to finish around the basket on rolls and offensive rebounds, and the 3-ball, and you saw tonight the floater. So he really can do it all.
Dan?
Hey, Frank, there was a sequence, I think, where Memphis had 3 guys kind of crashing the offensive rebound. It was a loose ball, and LeBron was the guy that was fastest to it, took you guys the other way, and got you out in transition. You talked before the game, this isn't a guy you can hold back because of his competitiveness. Like, if he's on the court, he's going to go. What have you thought of his effort levels and knowing kind of his short offseason, just seeing that competitiveness sort of just take over and kind of push him in nights like tonight?
No, I love it. We'll manage, his minutes and all that stuff in a responsible way. But when he's out on the floor, that's who he is. He's as competitive as anybody in the league. And, like I said, 13 defensive rebounds, that's hard to do when you're not a center. That's just competitive spirit, wanting to win, and, being determined. And obviously he carried a big offensive scoring load, but what he did, like you said, in those stretches defensively, we held these guys to 40 points in the second half, after 36 in the first quarter. So really did it on both ends of the floor.
No offense to Brook Lopez, but there's a lot going on down there, man. 108-94, LeBron James, close to a triple-double, 22, 13, and 8. AD, 17, 9, and 3. Montrez off the bench, 16 and 9. 5 of those offensive. Let's go back to Memphis. Marcus Saul speaking with Allie in the media.
I know you joined Mike before the game, talking about the emotions, of course, being back in a place that's so familiar and near and dear to your heart. I was just curious, once the game started, obviously the recognition from the organization to you, what that all meant as it all played out.
It meant a lot. Obviously, you're missing a huge part of all this, which is the fans and the people from Memphis that would have been there. But obviously, I'm very thankful, for what the franchise has done for me, not just now in recognition, but throughout the years that I was here, and now carry on into the next generation.
Obviously, you're a vet. You've been around this league for quite some time. Was there any kind of nervous energy for you being out there? Any kind of memories that flowed back that kind of had to put yourself in a position to settle down before the ball was tipped?
Before the ball was tipped, maybe a little bit. It's just a little awkward being on a different locker room and warming up, kind of the opposite side and all that kind of stuff. Once the ball goes up, it just, game time is completely different. I just wish I hit it one of those threes that would have made it much, much better.
From a team standpoint, one final point for me, Mark. This is now back-to-back games on the road that you guys have found ways down the stretch, especially to close out and get the W. The other night in San Antonio, I think it was a 9-0 run. And today it was 13-2 over the final 4.5 minutes. What is it about you guys as a unit that you guys are finding in terms of execution, though it's early here in the season, in terms of closing out?
I think we're learning each other. We're learning how to win as a team together, trying to help one another, be comfortable out there on both ends of the floor, communicating. It's all a process, obviously, like we always say that, but it truly is a process of becoming a team. And when you have new guys, going through the mistakes and how you approach them and how you fix them on the fly. Not only how you're being helped, also how you take it as a guy that probably has made a mistake. And when it's a hustle thing and you don't have enough energy, somebody else comes to you and or you bring the energy up for somebody else. That's all positive, and I think that it's all a process. And in fact, you're always getting ready for the bigger challenge when it comes down to the playoffs.
Mark, thank you.
Bill.
Hey, Mark, good to see you. First of all, how's the eye? And then second of all, I'm wondering what it's like for you to be back in Memphis for 4 days, first time, and then presumably not be able to do any of the things that you would want to do your first time back.
Well, it's good. I mean, I got to check out my house and see how, all the smoke detectors were beeping. Had to kind of go in there and change the battery on those. But it's weird not seeing, the people that meant so much to me during those years. I can see, you can't meet them and you have to be responsible. So that's a little challenging because you don't know what other people are doing. So, just part of the business. You have to be responsible. But, I think it's a little easier. It makes it a little less emotional when you don't have that, all the people around you kind of going back so many years. I don't think it's the right timing for it now. So it's good, but I think it'll be better later on.
Good start. Memphis come out shooting the lights out, and then the second quarter, the Lakers defense started to, unfold. I think Montrezl Harrell's activity on the offensive boards and Schroeder, his defense, they started to click. And I think in the second half, they showed the dominance. LeBron James, AD, they have two closers. And with the collective defensive effort, they did the job they needed to do and to close out the game.
Two quick thoughts. One, I was thinking earlier, when you haven't played a team in a while, typically during the season, you might not play an Eastern Conference team for a whole calendar year, depending on how the calendar goes. With this past year, with COVID and the bubble and the restart, you haven't played against some of these teams in a while. Mm-hmm. And they're having to learn some of the different personnel, new coaches, different style of play. And once they get a handle on the way the team is attacking and playing, that's when the Lakers seem to kind of figure out how to take advantage of the matchup and go ahead and close the game out. The second thought is, when you're the big brother and you're not even really worried about what little brother gets like.
And little brother's coming after you every single night.
You know he can't beat you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you let him get a few punches in, you let him get some licks in. but you know at the end of the day, you big brother.
I was going to kind of ask you that because James was talking about, turning it on at the end. That can be dangerous against teams like this. But then again, it's on the road, so you're happy to get the win, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's where the depth throughout the course of the season is going to come into great value for this Lakers team. Alex Caruso out, KCP out. Having guys like Wes Matthews, THT, who's developing and blossoming, those guys being able to perform at such a high level. The addition of Dennis Schroeder in the backcourt, that gives LeBron a lot more ability to not have to do so much. But then tonight, you saw in that third quarter,